How much creative license should a film director have when adapting a book or play for the screen? What about a play director making adjustments to their source material? What changes are merely preferential adjustments, and how much is too much? Is accuracy through exact replication of the original script, or modern interpretation and innovation more important? These questions are especially relevant when performing works like Macbeth that have well-established histories. Plays are an example of what Walter Ong calls secondary orality, that which is essentially a more deliberate and self-conscious orality based permanently on the use of writing and print. Given that this type of orality is based on a printed source, any performance can easily be compared to its source material. Macbeth, for example, was first published as part of the 1623 First Folio and never printed in quarto. This narrows the variations possible in the source text, but still, what if the source text has changed over time through editorial work? Or no indication is made as to how a particular line should be delivered? Some clues are gathered from punctuation, but as Ong notes, these clues are not complete instructions. Actors spend hours determining how actually to utter the words in the text before them. A given passage might be delivered by one actor in a shout, by another in a whisper. To see these ideas concretely, let's examine Macbeth as directed by Eve Best and performed at the London Globe Theatre in 2013. Comparing the performance to both the Folger Shakespeare and First Folio editions of the play, we see Best making several substantial adjustments, including the full removal of Hecate and Seward by either removing their lines or assigning them to other characters. Many scenes have lines removed or adapted, with scenes like Act 5, Scene 6 being trimmed from 11 lines to just 4, and others, like Act 3, Scene 5, removed entirely. Beyond the reassigning of lines, an artistic addition of musical elements, 3 key moments stand out as most significant in the shaping of this particular production. The first instant occurs during Act 3, Scene 3, when Banquo is murdered. The First Folio edition provides no indication as to when Fleance is to exit the scene. The Folger Shakespeare, apparently taking lines 29 to 31 as evidence that Fleance must already be gone, provides the exit instruction following line 26. Of greater interest in this scene, however, is the work of the third murderer. Eve Best adds to the mystery of the third murderer by removing all of his lines through elimination or transference to the other murderers, leaving him with only the simple line, Macbeth! Best also takes creative license in having the third murderer kill the other 2 murderers, an action never indicated in either the First Folio or Folger's edition. This adaptation, however, does provide an answer as to why the later scene between Macbeth and an unnamed murderer only includes one, and the others are never again mentioned. The second episode of interest comes in Act 5, Scenes 7 and 8. Both the First Folio and Folger's text indicate Macduff is to exit after line 28 in Scene 7. However, Best keeps him on stage. Best combines this with removing the arrival of Malcolm and Seward, allowing instead Macbeth to enter immediately, beginning Scene 8 with a confrontation between Macbeth and Macduff, instead of waiting for Macduff to re-enter. Together, these adaptations accelerate the action by narrowing focus onto these 2 players and removing additional roles. The final episode of interest, and the most significant, occurs during the play's closing scene. Act 5, Scene 8 again sees heavy redaction, with 31 lines being removed from Macbeth, Malcolm, Seward, and Ross. Following Macbeth's death, the First Folio provides no further instructions on the body's treatment other than Macduff exiting and re-entering with Macbeth's head. The Folger edition clarifies these actions, providing instructions for Macduff to carry off Macbeth's body after line 39 and re-enter at line 64 with his head. Best, however, forgoes these points, choosing to have Macduff remain on stage. This necessitates the removal of line 43, discussing Macduff's absence, and may be the root of the more extensive textual redactions. Macbeth's body also remains on stage throughout Malcolm's final speech, sobering Malcolm's victory and providing a sense of regrettable achievement at the loss of the tragic hero. While the Folger's edition of Macbeth varies from the First Folio in mostly editorial items of clarification, Best significantly adapts the script for her production. The lingering impression is of rapidly increasing action ending abruptly in the tragic conclusion. The impression is powerful, but is it accurate? Does accuracy really matter? Perhaps the better view is to recognize with Bate and Senecal that Shakespeare plays are most alive in the theater, and that demanding an exact copy of a supposed perfect original is too great an ask. Not allowing for adaptation or editing means Shakespeare couldn't be allowed second thoughts that would imply some deficiency in the first ones. Or still,
there is no such thing as the King Lear and the Tempest. It's a Tempest, a King Lear. You have to start from the point of view that this is an interpretive act.
And here, Eve Best has presented to you a Macbeth.
Thanks. To all at once, and to each one,